Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm gonna do a guide about the skills and how it works, the Swordsman. Some days ago I did the Rogue, and now we are gonna do the Swordsman.
I'll go anywhere with you. Good choice.
He looks a lot like the Oz in the Oz moving castle from the movie. So, as you can see here, he's a very kind of balanced hero. He have a quite good attack and defense, but he's not the best in either of them. There is no healing, almost no healing skill. I maybe have one but it's not a lot. He's not very good on that. His support is not very good, but he has some supportive skills. And he's quite fast also. He's fast skills. So that's how it works basically. He have a close attack. And as I said, he's very good at attack defense and have a good speed also. And he have some buff skills and debuff skills. So he can play with him very offensively. And he can deal a lot of damage. I can feel it as a rogue. When he gets closer to me, he can kill very fast. But he's not very good in any specific role he can have. But different from like a destroyer that's more defensive, or witch that's focused on more debuffs, or like a engineer have more healing skills. So he can make a different roles in a party. So he can fit in a lot of situations. Depends on your build and what type of mode you are playing the game. So playing solo, as I told you before, he can do very easily the quests and everything because he's high attack power and defense. But you have to be very careful with him since he attacks very close. Some bosses have very strong attacks. So I feel when I was building my Swordsman before, some bosses was so hard to beat because they deal such a huge damage. So you have to be very careful with that. And the playing is a group and a party. He can swap between the front line and the mid line, giving support, depends on the situation. So everything depends on your combat power and your skills you get. And your party members, sometimes if you are like with let's say in the brawl mode, you have a rogue and the engineer. This Swordsman should technically go to the front to attract the enemies, but if you have a destroyer, you can give some support to the destroyer. So it's very manageable hero. He can do different types of gameplay. So I think for first players is a good one, because in this game, I think you guys saw before, I use the same equipment I have with my Swordsman. He was level 70 something, almost 70. And my rogue could progress so fast because of that. So even if you build a hero that if later you found that's not what you like, you can easily build another one using the same equipment, so you don't lose your progress. So that's a very good aspect in this game. So I will open my Swordsman after a couple of months without playing with him. Let's see how he is. So here is my Swordsman. I will first showing his costume. Some people just an extra, the Explorer feat. I played the beginning of the game, so this is the Explorer. It looks very nice. I regret not because you have some time to get this. If I make a new hero of each class, I could get this skin for each of them. So these skills you always will have as a Swordsman. So his basic attack is this one. It's just his attack, melee attack close, and here is like special skills, but exclusive for the Swordsman. So the first skill is like a flash attack. So what he do? It have a cooldown of 13 seconds. His basic attack is very good. And he decrease the enemy movement speed in 25%, and it's increase the attack, but the movement speed a little bit, not much in the maximum level. So the second one is very good. So it's flying slash, they call it. So he jumps in the air, and so he also do again movement speed in the enemy for 3 seconds, and is 18%. And here you can check the next one, 18, almost 19 again. And the cooldown is 15 seconds. So the cooldown, his attacks are very good. This one is I use a lot in the PvP, because you can get very close to your enemy. So this effect also is give you a fall effect. You see? For 1.5 seconds. So I use this a lot in PvP, so you can just get some rogue or engineer and you can do this combo and they are done. Like this and this one. So this one is his burst skill, Mega Slash. And it can level here. I show you guys. Here in the class rank, so every 20 levels you can increase. So it's very good to damage the enemies. You can just clean some mobs with this skill. So now I will show a little the gameplay of the basic skills. So we are here. So the basic skills is the... So he's doing automatic. So you see he performs very well. His normal attacks, spinings, and this one, the one that you go after the enemy. Let's see this. This is the one that increase his health. You can see here, like, and here is the one that lower the defense and give a dark type. So he pushed the enemy up. So he's very good to farm actually. Very balanced hero. So he performs very well. And his defense, you see, I almost don't use the potion. My rogue have a hard time. Because he don't have a very big defense. So that's a very good positive of him. But at the same time, he's not very good. Extremely very good in everything he do, but you can build him on that. So let's go to the active skills. These ones, they have so many. But I focus on only exclusive for the Swordsman. Because they have some that you can... Any hero can have it. But I do a specific video explaining these skills. So these two here, they are skills that you get automatically as a Swordsman. So you can use it or not, but you already come with it. My hero is using it because it's good for farming this one. So this skill is very useful as a solo and playing in the group. You increase you and your max party members by 10% for 15 seconds. And it instantly recovers 3.5% of max HP and give 3% of max HP as a shield. Of course, this is according to each member of the party. And the cooldown is 24 seconds. This is unfortunately level 1, but you can, let me see. This is level 1, but you can check the other levels. The level 10 is like 7% and 20% of HP, so it helps a lot. So to get this, you can just press here in the corner where to get. So here is just buying it in the shop. This you get these medals by beating world boss, field boss, chaos field boss. So it's very easy to farm actually, and this skill is very cheap. It's like 500. It's very cheap, and you can buy 3 per week. So I recommend it if you play, even for people that plan to play solo, because it helps in the farm and also in the party. If you don't have like a engineer in the group, maybe this skill can help a lot if you want to be a little more supportive. So this one is, I don't know how they translate, but it's Symphony Blade, something like this. And what this skill do? It now this is a debuff skill. It gives 340. It's level 2, but dark damage, and it make your enemies fall for 2 seconds and reduce the enemy death by 8.33% for 5 seconds, and increase the death of all your party members by 8%, and cooldown on 24. So it's very good skill because at the same time you debuff your enemy, you buff your party members. So for now you can see even his basic skills, active skills, he's kind of debuff and support at the same time. So Swordsman is very good to have in a party, but he's very balanced. So if you see like here, 15% of defense down and increase 15%, so it's very good. And again, it's very cheap. You can just buy here. So you just need to farm the bosses. So you can go slowly or you can go fast, but everything's here, these skills. If you wanna play more offensive, this is very good. At the same time it helps your friends, so I highly recommend this one. The only downside is dark. So it don't have a, how can I say? It's not like if you use a fire one in a green, so only it gives a lot of damage in enemies with a light type. But in PvP this doesn't matter a lot, so it's a good skill to invest in the early game. So another skill he have, this they creates a field, and they call defense field. So everybody that enters the field increase attack power, attack speed and movement speed by 10%. So party members is only half of these effects, so it's like 5% for party members. And increase defense and resistance of everybody by 25%. And this is 100% to your party members, so that's good. Another support skill that Swordsman have. I saw sometimes they use this in PvP. I don't think it's very effective because sometimes I have to move a lot. So, but this is good when you're beating like boss or some kingdom defense. That is a game mode that you stay in the same place for a long time. And to get this is quite here. You can see that the high levels a lot, 20%, imagine. Of course your party member is only 10, but you 20% of more attack speed. So that's very good, but to get it, there's a big cost. The same shop as the other ones. Here is 3,500. So you can get like a 7 of these attacks. So I think at least you can get a lower, like five of each of them, and then you will start to increase this one, or just get one just to have it, because in certain situations it can be very useful, but it cannot be your focus only. So the next skill I wanna tell about is like a spirit release. So it only works for yourself and increase your attack speed by 10% for 10 seconds. Increase your basic attacks in the light type for 105%. So it's very good if you are... And for non-dark type is 12%. So this is really useful against dark type. But you do a lot of attack and you'll be very good for him. But the only problem is like only if you are fighting some dark type monsters. And to get it is basically here. They have different ways, 4 types of ways. It can be in the mastery is like the transmutation. Also a prize from the Kingdom Wars, if I'm not wrong. Yes, from the Kingdom Wars you can get as a prize. Also you can get it by when you get level 80. Here you can get 1 copy. But maybe when you're already here, this might be not very interesting. But for certain bosses you can create a build just for beating this dark type. So you can have some advantage when you're farming dark type also. This one, Arcane Barrier. And it creates a field that reduces damage taken by any party member in the field. And it inflicts blind to an enemy inside it. So it's very good. So it reduces the damage taken by 20% and gives blind. And you can get it is a little only from the boss basically, or buying it by real money. So it's quite hard to get this skill to be sincere. And the world boss you can get as a drop. You can get here. Where is this Swordsman? Here is Swordsman, this one. But the chances are pretty low. But there's a possibility to get it, and even if you get like the rogue one, for example, the witch, this one, you can share with your others or you can trade. But I think, for example, this is very good, but it just reduces 20% of damage, and it gives... The good thing is that you can blind your enemies, they cannot see. Can be useful, but in PvP you just move and you just don't go. I think this one is much more utility, to be sincere. Makes your friends faster and gives some bonus of defense. So I don't think this is very good, to be sincere. And it's 44 seconds of cooldown, so it's a lot of time. So now I will we cover how his active attacks, and let's cover his passives. So this is like a enhanced defense. So when you are normal attacking, the basic attacks, you have a chance of increase. So you can increase like 7%. And the defense of your party, 10% for 5 seconds. So it's pretty useful. And you already come with this one. So it's very good to boost defense if there is no destroying the party. But for solo, I think there is this one, fortified, but later I'll explain this one. And to get it is the same place as the other skills. Here the defense, here enhanced defense, but it is quite expensive. But you try to not just buy this one, try to balance if you want to buy it. So as I told you, the fortress, where is it? Fortress, yeah. When you receive it, damage, boost your defense for short time, for 6 times, for 6 times maximum. It's very strong when you're playing solo, so you can take less damage. It's very good when you're against one boss, because you can get very high defense. but less useful when you play a party. But it's good to level it if when you get the book, because it's for 8 seconds, 2.5% of defense. Imagine, like, it's 6 times, it's a lot. So you can get it. So you high level, it's like 5%, so 30% of defense is a lot. But you can just get in this genie, so it's very difficult. I think I never seen this skill to get. Even if you have money, you cannot get this skill. So keep in mind, that's very difficult. Not common to find someone with this one. So this one is a death mark. It's another skill. So boost your attack by 5%. And there is a chance to inflict stun in your enemy for 2 seconds. So the cooldown is like 30 seconds. But this is like every time happens this skill, it gives 30 seconds to happen again. So it's very useful skill, to be sincere, in many situations like PvP, even against monsters. But to get it, you can get it by spending money, or you can get by getting more levels. But this skill is very good. Where is it? Yeah, that mark you get when you get level 110. So it's very good skill. In any situations can be useful. But only when you are 110. So this is a very good skill, but it's a little difficult to get it. So this is like a blind hunter, they call it. And increase your attack of enemies blind by 7.5% against it. Could be very strong, but you have to first blind them through this arcane barrier. Where is the arcane barrier? Yeah, using this skill. You have to use this to make them blind, and then you take a damage. Some familiars, they can make blind also. But it's very situational, and to get it, I'll show you guys. Blind hunter. You can get only rank up or buy it by real money. So which level you get it? So it's just here, level 150 you get this. Like, I think they probably have not many players in this level. So you probably will not see soon someone using this skill, using this passive. So this one is Last Stand. That's very good skill. So if your HP is going below than 30%, it boosts your attack and reduce your damage taken. So it's very good. So for 10 seconds increase your attack by 5% and damage taken by 10%. So it can be very good against if you're in a solo against some bosses. But I think it's not every time you have HP very low like this. Maybe very difficult bosses can be good. But the problem is that to buy it is very expensive. You can get some class ranking, like here. When you get level 100, Last Stand here. But and if you wanna buy it, buy books, it's very expensive. Last Stand is 1,200. So I don't know. Other abilities like the defense, for example, defense field and the fortress are more useful. Because this a huge cooldown also. It's like 2 minutes. So there's other, like this one is much more useful for party play and other situations. So this one, the defense, is much more useful. You increase your attack and increase your party defense. So it's much useful than this one. So I think that's it for the Swordsman. Later I plan to make a video showing these other skills because it can be useful, and also a skill explaining the familiars also. But for skills for Swordsman, that's briefly what he does. So depends on how you build it. You can focus more in solo play, but you can also focus on party and a group, and everything relies on you and what kind of gameplay you want. Be more supportive, a more offensive hero. So, but in my own opinion, I think he's very good to starters. But he's not very, how can I say? He's not very good fully in everything he do. It's different from, for example, the witch. She have more debuff skills, better and more options, but she just do that. Or engineer, she can heal much better. Or destroyer, he can buff your defense and have more defensive skills. Or the rogue, that he can buff, give more support in the attack of the party. But he still have been good attacks like this one that gives more HP, for example. It's very useful. Or defense field, it's very good. Attack speed, everything. So depends a lot on your playstyle. So that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you on the next video.